excited to welcome Sarah Best back to work with some of our vocal students. So sit back, enjoy, and listen as they work.
Hi, so I'm Kayla Coleman. I'm going to be singing What Did I Ever See in Him? It's from Bye Bye Birdie, and it's where she's just really upset with her love interest. 8 years, that's how long I've wasted on him. That's all I do. Albert, dear, please leave. To hell with you. What did I ever see in him? How did I ever get involved that way? Now that it's over, I can smile and say, what did I ever see in him? Boy, I was way out of it. Now that my feet are on the ground again, now that my senses have been found again, what did I ever see in him? Is he tender? No, he's not. No, he's not. Am I crazy? What's he got that I found so damn good? What did he ever do for me? To be honest, he would sometimes lie. Still, it wasn't worth that awful price. It was love from the start. Broken days, broken nails, broken hearts. How did I ever, what did I ever, what did I ever?
Thanks, Kayla. Excellent. It's good to hear you and see you. It's been a couple years. Are you a senior now?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about this character, right? What is her mental state right now?
So she's just kind of really frustrated, and she's just letting all of her anger out through this song.
Sure. Yes, right. So she's exasperated, she's frustrated, she's yelling at him, she's poking at him, right? She's pretty annoyed, yeah?
Yeah.
So I want us to focus on how we can get your body involved in the storytelling a little bit more, so that your face and your body are telling that story of annoyance. Right now, your shoulders seem like they're moving inward. I want you to think about your collarbones, not necessarily going like this, but I want you to think about your collarbones widening out. Can you put your hands on your collarbones for me? Yeah, and then just like give yourself a little massage across. Yep, and now drop your arms to the side. Right now, just doing that one thing, you're immediately more open. Yeah, so that when you first started, you collapse this way. And when we collapse in the center, we look like we're apologizing for what we're saying, right? As opposed to taking up space. And it's just a small adjustment, right? Next thing I want you to think about is where your arms are, right? So you can't really see my body as well as I can see yours, but it looks to me like you don't have a lot of space in between your arms and your body. Can you give your elbows some breathing room? Yeah, kind of like a chicken for a second. Just let them flop to the sides a little bit. Yeah, find some freedom, right? So then when you gesture, your elbows don't stay stuck. Your arms can come out away from your body. Can you just starfish for me for a second? This is what my friend calls a starfish. She puts her arms out to the side. Yep, exactly like that. And spread those fingers nice and wide. Good, we're gonna start from the top of the song, just like that.
You want me to keep trying?
Oh yeah, you're gonna starfish the heck out of this.
All right. 8 years, that's how long I've wasted on him. That's all I do. Albert, dear, to hell with you.
Good. Let's keep going. Let's keep going into the quicker part.
Okay. What did I ever see in you? How did I ever get involved that way? Now that it's over, I can smile and say, what did I ever see in you?
Good, 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 good. Yeah, excellent. We're going to stop for a second. Excellent. So do you feel any different having your arms, having more space there?
Yeah, I feel like I'm more in control of this.
You're more I couldn't hear you. Can say it one more time.
Yeah, I feel like more in control of my space.
More in control of your space. Yeah, you're taking up more space physically, right? For me, I just want to draw back to some vocal things. The minute you had more space here and more space here, your breath was more underneath you. So if we're talking about this from a vocal standpoint, vocally you were more connected the second time through because your breathing apparatus had more space to do its job, right? Without you having to fit your breath into here, your breath then can take up the space it needs to, right? Because sound travels on air. If you don't have enough air, you're not going to have enough sound, right? So everybody's like, Sarah, you always talk about breathing. And I'm like, well, if you don't have gas in the tank, you're not going to go very far, right? So breathing is very important. And just doing that one exercise where you opened up physically, not only were you more visible to us, you were also able to use your whole body for the breath, right? Let's move to the faster part, and I just want to focus for a second on some of these ascending lines. I'm wondering if when you bum ba da 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 dum bottom, I wonder if you can put more energy into the bottom of the line so the top of the line has a little bit more easy release to it. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah, so ease back on.
Yeah, so I want instead of just going da 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 dum, what if we went da 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 dum, da 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 dum, right? So that the whole line reads rather than just the last part of the line. Let's try it from where, let's see. What did I ever see in him? Just right there is just right where you start the what did I ever see in him?
What did I ever see in you? How did I ever get involved that way? Now that it's over, I can smile and say, what did I ever see in you?
Good, good, good. I'm gonna stop you. How's that feel?
It feels good.
Feels
A little new, so I was a little confused.
Yeah, of course it's new. I'm not expecting you to master anything I'm telling you right away. The one thing you did when you started focusing on this was you went like this. These shoulders collapsed. So I want you to do it one more time. I want you to keep your shoulders out, and I want you to sing through with the breath at the beginning of the phrase. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. When I say put more energy into the beginning, I want the breath there underneath you to ride that wave, okay? Same place. What did I ever see in him?
What did I ever see in you? How did I ever get involved that way? Now that it's over, I can smile and say, what did I ever see in you?
Good, 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 good. How's that feel?
Felt better.
Okay, so now we have our breath engaged in the whole process. Now I want you to tell me a little bit. Does she, she says, what did I ever see in him? Is the question answered after the first time?
No.
No, because she keeps singing the same question, right? What did I ever see in him? Why did I do this? He is dumb. Why did I do this? Right? She keeps asking the same question and the same question over and over again. So there needs to be a differentiation in all of this question asking. It's not all the same question. She keeps asking similar questions and repeats the question, but it can't be delivered in the same way, right? So I want you to play around with, the first time it happens is when she says 8 years, 8 years. Why does she say 8 years twice?
Because she's contemplating about like how long that is and how long she's wasted
Right. So in opera, right, they have all these characters that are like, Oddio, Oddio, right? That are like, oh God, right? Why do they say that 2 times? Because their emotional state gets heightened from the first time to the second time, right? So I need to see something change facially, physically, and vocally when you repeat text or when you repeat questions, right? Because the state or the mental state of the character has shifted, right? We don't just say 8 years, 8 years. We say 8 years, 8 years, right? So I want to hear and see that in the way that you sing that, right? Can we start from the top? And I just want you to play around a little bit. When you repeat a question or when you ask a question and you don't get the answer you want, I need you to take a different approach to it, mentally and emotionally, right? So start with the beginning, as you're saying 8 years, and we can practice this in the slow section, and then we'll keep moving into the quicker section, okay?
8 years, 8 years, that's how long I've wasted on him. That's all I'm Albert, to hell with you.
Good. I'm going to stop you for a second. Albert Dear, to put it sweetly. Is that a nice statement? Is she being sweet? Can you speak this text from the beginning as if it were a monologue?
Okay. 8 years. 8 years. That's how long I've wasted on him. That's all. I'm through. Albert dear, to put it sweetly, to hell with you.
Good, right? There's a transition there. Albert dear, to put it sweetly, I'm to hell with you, right? So there, I need to see a facial switch. I need your face engaged in telling that story. Right now, it's a little bit, Albert dear, to put it sweetly, to hell with you. It's a little too polite, right? You can cast off the politeness and let's see if we can stretch that theatrical muscle a bit bigger and show it on our face a bit more. Speak the text one more time. 8 years.
8 years. 8 years. That's how long I've wasted on him. That's all. I'm through. Albert dear, to put it sweetly, to hell with you.
Good. And I think sweetly can even be more sweet. Try that, just that one section. Albert dear, to put it sweetly.
Albert dear, to put it sweetly, to hell with you.
Yeah, so we don't want to read any of the to hell with you in the sweetness.
Okay.
One more time.
Albert dear, to put it sweetly, to hell with you.
Good. Now go back and sing it and keep that wideness of the body. Keep all of that facial and emotional context that you just added, and now add the singing, the rhythm, and the melody.
8 years, 8 years, that's how long I've wasted on him. That's all I'm Albert dear, to hell with you.
Good. I'm going to stop you one more time, Kayla. You have younger siblings, yes?
Yeah.
Do your younger siblings ever annoy you?
All the time.
Right. So can you, for me, imagine that you're irritated? Let's take this away from the show for right now. Let's imagine that you're irritated with a sibling. How would you speak to that sibling if you're irritated with them?
Not politely.
Yes. So right now your singing is a little bit like 8 years. I'm singing so politely. I want you to lose that politeness and give me Kayla mad at a sibling.
Okay.
And Kayla, move your body a bit more.
Okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Eight years, that's how long I've wasted on him. That's all I'm through. I worked here to hell with you.
Keep going. Let's keep going.
What did I ever see? How did I ever get involved that way? Now that's all I can smile and say. What did I ever see in him? Boy, I was way out of line. Now that my feet are on the ground again, haven't found again. What did I ever see in him? Is he tender? No, he's not. Is he thoughtful? No, he's not. Am I crazy? What's he got that I found so damn appealing? What did he ever do for me? Well, to be honest, he was sometimes nice, but still it wasn't worth that awful price. It was rough from the start. Broken days, broken nails, broken hearts. How did I ever? Why did I ever? Why did I ever?
Good, Kayla, good. You started to lose a little bit of this. At the very end, and then we have to move on. At the very end, how did I ever, what did I ever, blah, 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 blah. Instead of having, how did I ever, what did I ever, blah, da, da. I want to see that crescendo into something. I know that this is the cut, like you made this cut specifically for this class, right? But I want to see the ending have purpose, right? So that I get to the end of how did I ever, what did I ever, what could be a reason for why she just stopped singing?
She's contemplating it more, and instead of that anger, she's now realizing.
It could be that, yeah. For me, I feel a bit like maybe there's a loss of words. Like I just can't say any more about this because I've gotten to the point where I don't have any words, right? So I want to try that last phrase, and I want you to build that energy. How did I ever? What did I ever? And I want you to lose control at the end, like, ah! So that we see explosion rather than apology.
Okay.
And then we have to move on.
Okay.
How did I ever? Why did I ever? What did I ever?
Good. Can you do it one more time? And I want a big sigh at the end.
Okay.
How did I ever? What did I ever? Why did I ever?
Okay.
How did I ever? Why did I ever? What did I ever?
Good. But don't apologize for it. Ah! I want you to scream at the end this time. How did I ever? What? Whatever the words are. Da 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 da. Ah!
Okay.
How did I ever? Why did I ever? What did I ever?
Just go, ah! Right now.
Ah!
How did I ever? Say those four. How did I ever? Why did I ever? What did I ever? Ah!
How did I ever? Why did I ever? What did I ever? Ah!
Good. So the idea is, Kayla, you're a little bit apologetic for being so angry, but this character is very angry, and you're allowed to be angry in this situation. Really good work, Kayla. It's a pleasure to see you. I'm looking forward to hearing all about your endeavors post-high school.
Thank you.
All right, I think we have Jack next. Hi, Jack. It's so good to see you. Are you a senior this year too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was just talking to you about how I just remember you like teaching us how to walk like a monkey down the hallway.
One of my many talents, right? All right, tell me a little bit about the piece you're singing.
Okay, so I'm singing "You'll Be Found" from Dear Evan Hansen. It's basically Evan's speech that he gives, and he's caught up in this lie. He's kind of too deep in this lie, so he's trying to, make something good out of it instead of getting trapped.
Excellent.
Let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you're broken. Cause when you don't feel strong enough, you can't reach out. And someone will come running and right now take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, and when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up to rise again. And don't look around.
We're working on it.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm missing video for Jack.
We're working on it.
While you're working, Jack, can you hear me, Jack?
Yeah.
First of all, your voice is lovely, right? That's a beautiful sound. Really well sung. The thing, since I can hear you and I can't see you right this second. Oh no. Did I completely lose you all? I feel like maybe I did. And here I am on my own show. I think what I'm going to say to Jack when he comes back is that he has a lovely tenor sound. And part of the things that we confront when we're singing colloquially or singing musical theater that's contemporary is we tend to close our, oh, here they are, back.
We're trying.
That's okay. I'm just talking a little bit about Jack's vowels. So and not just him, everybody when we sing colloquially tend to close down our mouths because that's how we speak. We speak with our mouths and our jaws closed like this. So when we can get Jack back up, I want him to try and sing, and I want him to experiment, there he is, with opening his mouth a little bit more, dropping your jaw a little bit more. Okay, and Jack, I'm going to have you do the same thing I had Kayla do, and I want you to starfish for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I don't want you to confuse this with hyperextending your chest backward. I want you to keep your rib cage pointing down. So do you know where your sternum is?
Yeah.
Can you feel that your sternum is pointing down to the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And can you relax your shoulders down? There you go. So now, in this great, crazy starfish position, shout out to my colleague, Chrissy Emin, who taught me this. In this starfish position, I want you to focus on opening your mouth a little bit more when you're singing, okay? From the top.
Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you're broken. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can't reach out. And someone will come running and hide out. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll be jumping and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Yeah. Sorry. I just got excited. How's that feel, Jack?
Feels much better.
Yeah. So we, as humans who speak English, I'm doing it right now, right? I'm on video and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. We, as speakers in our native tongue, tend to swallow and we keep our jaw closed. And now, in the advent of this lovely mask wearing era, we're kind of stuck here all the time, right? So when you have the luxury of singing without a mask, you can really drop your jaw. And the thing it does for you is it just opens up such a beautiful, glorious sound. When you have a sound that sounds so easy to make, don't hoard it away. Share it with all of us, right? So additionally, like I had for Kayla, the minute you did this, you have more breath under you. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
The second thing, when you opened your jaw, you had just more resonant possibility that you could play with, right? And I just think it sounds really lovely. Okay, so we're going to move back to the top. And this time, I want you to think about how we can crescendo this. I talked with a teacher once who said that when we sing, we have to like dial up and then dial back, and then dial up and then dial back. So we don't sing to a 10 and that's just it, right? We sing to like a 4 and then back to a 2, and then to a 6 and then back to a 4, and then to an 8 and back to like a 7. And we work our way up so that we get to found right at the end, so that we get to our 10. But we don't get to our 10 and then we're stuck there. So let's take this back, and I want to approach this from the aspect of Evan, who's singing this, or not Evan, who's singing. Can't think of. Yeah, so I want you to think of singing this from the perspective of the person who's stuck in the lie, right? And we will be found, right? When you're afraid of being alone, being hurt, being scared, being trapped, like you will be found. Someone will find you. So we have to start from that place of darkness, I think, to really appreciate the light. Yeah. So is it easy for you to grab a chair and sit?
Yeah.
And Jack, I want you to look right at the camera like you're talking to your best friend, and you're going to start this. So I don't want you to lose your height. I don't want you to lose your jaw. And now I want you to tell the story like you're talking to your best friend, right? Like it's okay. You will be okay. Okay. So you can look directly at the camera and share that.
Let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to say, someone will come running, and I know will take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through.
Good. I'm going to stop you for a second, Jack. How's that feel?
It feels more personal.
Yeah, so the beginning is very personal. And I know that you've kind of cut into the middle of the song a little bit. So this is a little bit different because we're working in the middle of the song a little bit more, but it's the beginning of it for you, right? So I want you to find that really personal connection. Why do you say and oh, other than it's written?
I can't really find the words for it. It's just like a reassurance, I guess. Just like
Yeah, like and oh, can we think of that as a hug maybe?
Yeah.
or an invitation, right? This is a song that like pulls everyone in the show, right? It's like we all can be together. So can you think of that as an invitation, and don't keep it for yourself and oh, not and oh. What if it was and oh, I know, right? Like I know that you'll be okay, right? So can we go from maybe a little bit before that? You can reach maybe when you don't feel strong enough to stand.
And when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out and call. Someone will come running, and I know will take you home.
Good. Jack, I want you to put your hand on your lap and not move it. I know you want to be like, and oh, I know you want to gesture. The reason I'm having you not gesture is because this song to me feels very much like, do you know when you see like a spotlight on stage and it just kind of like,
Mhm.
that's what it feels like. And I think if we get too gesturing with our hands, it starts to read as insincere. So that's why I had you sit, because like you said, it feels much more personal. And I want you to take that energy that says, I want to reach out my hands, and I want you to think about reaching out your heart instead, right? It's like we feel very vulnerable when we don't have our hands to protect us. This is a vulnerable moment in the show, right? So I think I want you to fight that instinct to just overly gesture, okay? Let's just go from and oh, right there.
And someone will come running, and I know.
Good, this is where we dial back, right? Even when the dark comes, right there.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you.
Good. I'm gonna stop you. Jack, how does that feel vocally for you there? Does that feel like tessitura place where you're switching, or does it feel comfortable?
Like it feels a little bit, especially since I'm like sitting down. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's like almost to that point.
Can you think of, instead of reaching this way, can you think of reaching this way? Giving yourself some space inside your mouth. And oh, same place.
And someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, it's when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in.
Good. I'm going to stop you right there. Thank you. First of all, did that feel better, giving yourself a little bit more space? So I think this is a remedy for you in general. When you're struggling to find your breath underneath you, you need to take up more space. And when you're struggling to find things vocally, you need to take up more space, right? So I think our inclination is to like work harder. And I think it's where we put our energy rather than physical effort, right? I just want to say one thing. This is the first time you say you will be found, right? At least in this cut.
Yeah.
So that's a special moment. You will be found, and I want to hear found. I don't want it to be you will be found. Can we go from there? And this for me is the moment when you start to stand.
Okay.
So actually, let's go back to I know someone will come and I won't. Ba-da-ba-dum. Right there. Even when the dog comes crashing in. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When you get to you will be found is the moment for me when you can stand. Okay?
And down. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up to rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be
Good, Jack. Yeah, excellent. How's that feel? Yeah, so then you feel the space you take up just with your presence rather than having to move around a lot, right? Then we enjoy the like experience you give us just by shining your heart at us, and sharing your voice with us. So we don't take away from those glorious things, right? Thank you so much. Really, really well done. It's great to see you and hear you.
Good to see you.
All right, we have Kai next. Hi, Kai.
Okay, so I'm singing Stand Up from Harriet, and it's kind of just a tribute to Harriet Tubman. So it's about strength, and just like the fight's not over, and it's just to inspire me.
Excellent. Are you starting right from the beginning?
I don't think so.
No, it's on page 2.
On page,
Second line of page 2.
yeah, second
Excellent.
line of page 2, like, oh, I got eyes in the back.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Just double checking.
Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, but I can't for my people. As the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my as the sun begins to rise. I'm gonna keep moving towards that separated line. I'm moving through muddy waters. You know I've got a made up mind. And I don't mind if I lose any part of the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home.
Awesome. Thanks, Kai. Such a powerful song. And I can tell that you're really invested in it. Yeah. It's a song that you like to sing. Yes.
A lot.
So I want to look. I mean, I think we're. It's like I sound like a broken record today, perhaps. But I want to talk a little bit about posture and grounding, so that you can get your breath under you a little bit, right? Oh, look at what you just did for yourself there. You just took a nice breath and you just opened up. I think in the Advent, and I do this too. So I'm not pointing fingers at people in high school or people in undergrad. We live in the cell phone world, right? Right? We live on our personal devices, and there's actually like physiological changes happening to our bodies where we walk around like this much more. This on stage, however, doesn't read as stand up, right? In fact, it's the opposite. So what you just did for yourself right there is you just found some wideness in your collarbones and you planted your feet nice and solidly. Are your feet parallel or do you have one foot in front of the other slightly?
They're kind of parallel.
I'm going to ask you to put one foot in front of the other one just slightly. Kind of like a fight stance. Like you're ready to take on something. And it doesn't have to be like so wide. If this was if these were my feet, right? I might have just one toe slightly ahead of the other. Yeah, that's good. And now I want you to not feel like you're rocking back on your heels, but you're over your ankle bones so that 51% of your weight is towards the front of your body. Yeah, do you feel like solidly, like you could take off running right now, right? Because if I was in the room with you, what I might come up to you and do is try to knock you over. And this goes for everybody that's sung today and everybody that will sing. If I can walk up to you at any given moment and knock you over, you're not grounded. You're not grounded when you're singing. And so this stance right now looks a lot more grounded. Do you have some bend in your knees? Can you find some bend in your knee joints? Just do a couple like plies for me. Bounce around a little bit, bounce up and down, because you're gonna get really comfortable bouncing in a minute. Right? So the other thing is that finding grounding is not about finding stiffness or rigidity. It's about finding support in a way that allows us to be free, right? We let gravity do the work so that our body has ease. It's stability and ease, right? The combination of the two. So now that you have this lovely stance, I'm going to make you start this from the beginning, and I'm going to have you do what I had Jack do. I want you to drop your jaw a little bit more, okay?
Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, and just in case I have to run.
Good, Kai. I'm just sorry. Like, doesn't it sound different and feel different? Yeah. Right. So I want you to do the same thing. Just in case I have to run. Can you get me some height on case? And if you need to flip to head, flip to head.
Just in case I have to run.
Yeah, do the same thing. Let's take it from the top. And did you find like I told Jack to find more space when you have to go up. Rather than pulling your bags up, create more space for your voice to live, okay?
Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run.
Yeah, just in case I have to run. That sounds so good and resonant, right? You had a little bit of a laugh there at the end. What was that a release? What was the reaction?
Yes, it was the struggle to get to the highest note of head.
Good. Can you just for me head? Just try that. Good. And what instead of like head, it was head. Can you put a little bit of vibrato in it for me?
Head, head,
head.
head.
Yeah. So one of the things that we negotiate when we're singing pop music, right, is how do we get to those higher notes without pulling all of the weight up, right? And I want you to find places early on, especially where you can flip to, you know what I mean when I say head voice?
Yeah,
Are you in any of the choirs at school?
I am.
Which one are you in?
Singers.
Singer. So Mr. Polvino will be super happy about this. Do you sing alto or soprano?
Both. Yeah.
Are you a soprano too?
I'm a soprano 1.
Oh, okay. Get it with that chest voice in the bottom there. So Kai, I want you to I want you to think about being an opera singer when you flip into your head voice, just for right now. This is just practice. Like when I sing, I'm an opera singer, right? But when I sing musical theater, I use technical things like flipping to head voice so that I'm not overworking one side of my voice without incorporating the other aspects. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess in this phrase, what I'm asking you to do is eyes in the back of my head. I'm thinking about that instead of head, instead of belting it. I'm thinking about putting it in more headspace, right? So try that line one more time and give yourself permission not to sing in full chest there. Okay?
Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head.
Yeah, and how's that feel?
Better.
Yeah. So we don't have to have every single note be a powerful belting note, right? Especially at the beginning, like what I was saying with Jack, we want to crescendo and decrescendo and build and then pull back and then build, right? So you don't need to give away all of your goods at the beginning, right? Let's do this again. Now that you have this great stance and you have this ability to sing and make choices about when you're gonna sing full and when you're going to flip to head. Let's continue, and I want to get to a certain point. So let's start from the beginning so I can listen, and I'll stop you, okay?
Okay. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I'll do what I can.
Good. I'm going to stop you. I do. Can you put do as a head voice? I do what I can. And then as you come down, build in that chest sound a little bit more.
I do what I can when I can when I can for my people.
Good, right? So I do what I can when I can, what I can for my people, right? I'm building in. I had a teacher that told me the greatest thing. She was like, when you climb up the stairs, do you want to carry a lot of luggage? No, right? Leave your luggage at the bottom of the staircase and pick it up as you're coming back down, right? So when I say things like build in the chest, it's pulling, like I'm asking you to incorporate that weight where it's easier to do it rather than trying to force it in places where it feels a little bit more challenging, right? You're early on in the song, so you can flip into head. I do what I can when I can while I can for my people, right? I don't know exactly what the melody line is there, but you understand?
Yeah.
Can you go right from I do?
I do what I can when I can when I can for my people. As the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night.
Good. So I'm going to stop you. Stars fill the night. Super interesting harmony, right? Drop your jaw on stars so we can hear that lovely B double flat, right? Cool harmony that suddenly comes in. While the clouds
roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me, together we are going.
Good. Same thing, Kai. Don't be afraid to flip into your head voice. For these short syllables, you don't need to pull all the weight. Can I have a G flat? Together we. Can you just sing that line for me, all in head voice?
Together we are going to a brand new home.
Good. I want you to do the same thing. Together we are going, and head voice, and as you descend, then bring the chest voice back in.
Together we are going to a brand new home.
Come on, isn't that easier to do? Right? So, of course, we want to just belt our way through things, and I'm not saying that you can't belt it. You can do it. What I'm doing for you right now is I'm being really strategic about building in places where you don't have to wail it at full tilt, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does it feel easier to do?
Yeah, it's just a matter of like figuring out when to do it.
Yeah, so a good goal for me, or a good time, like a good thing for me, is like when there's a lot of text and it's early on in the song, right? I'm not going to put all my eggs in the basket early on. I'm going to find places early on in the song where I can use head voice in creative ways to buy myself some ease. Yeah. And these are good places. G flat, A flat, B flat is where we start to move into, for sopranos, you're kind of, it's still low, but you're moving up into the passaggio, right? If I'm talking vocally, like, which is a transition area, right? And so you're building in access to the head voice at a lower place to just give yourself a break. You don't need to wail this whole thing. Wail it when it's appropriate to wail it at the end, but you don't need to wail it before, right? Does that make sense to you, Kai?
Yeah.
So when you're singing songs like this, go back and find places where you can build in those moments of ease. Not because you can't belt it, because you can, obviously, but because it adds a little bit of different texture to the sound, and it provides you vocal health like throughout, right? It reinforces technical things that help you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Let's jump to the early in the morning. Actually, can we go to we're gonna start moving? Can we go there? From we're gonna start moving towards that separating line.
We're gonna start moving towards that separating line. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation.
Oh, I see where we are. Can we go to the this is page 5?
So you're gonna go into the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Towards that separating line. I'm waiting through many waters. You know I've got a made up mind.
Good, Kai. I lost your audio, but or I lost your video, but the audio was great on this Waters the second time through. Can you tell me why?
I think I saved a little bit of my energy for those.
Yeah, exactly, right? If you build in easier access points, right? And this you build in easier access points is easier to go full tilt towards the end of the song, right? Additionally, I think I could hear your jaw dropping a bit more, and this stance has built-in grounding of your breath, right? Oh no, I lost you all again. So the thing is that Kai, the first time through, Kai closed her mouth and she didn't have that grounded stance. And the second time through, when we reach this part where it's a very climactic, she had her grounding stance underneath her a bit more, which allowed her to have more breath. And she opened her mouth a bit more, which allows the sound more resonating space. Okay, can you do that line one more time just so we can see you while you do it? And I'm wading through muddy waters. Good. Kai, how do you feel about vibrato? Is it something you sing with?
I'm better at vibrato when it gets a little bit lower. It's a little bit harder for me.
Gotcha. Can you think of as having like a shimmery sound to it? So you're you're seeing the vibrato rather than making it happen.
Okay.
I'm wading through muddy waters. There you go. That's, yeah, how's that feel?
Good.
Yeah. So I think sometimes we kind of shy away from using vibrato and pop, right? Because like not a lot of people sing with, most people sing with straight tone when they sing pop music, right? But if I'm looking at it from as a classical singer, you know, and when I go and sing pop or contemporary musical theater, I find places where the vibrato serves the moment, right? And to me, what you just did, there was nothing that said, oh, that sounds like an opera singer, right? It sounds like Kai using her resonance in a way that feels free and easy, right? Does that is that something that you can relate to?
Felt cool.
Yeah, exactly. It felt cool. It sounded cool. Like that's the sound we want to hear, right? So I want to encourage you to take up space. Wow, I'm saying this like 3 times today so far. Take up your space, right? Physically, first of all, because you look so open. And like I was talking about with Jack, that open heart really lets us feel compassion towards you, right? Secondly, it grounds you so that you have a lot of breath energy you can move through. And then as you enjoy your jaw, the space in your jaw, and the backspace in your mouth, the more resonance you have and the easier it is to sing, right? So if we close down and we take up, it's like squeezing the life out of our body and our breath and our sound, right? When you let yourself open, you have many more choices. Make sense? Really good, Kai. Really, really wonderful to hear you. Thank you so much. All right, I think we have Grace next. I know we're a little bit over time, but I think because we started late and we have some tech issues. Hi, Grace, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. You're a senior too, right?
Yes.
And you are doing...
Much more from the Fantastics.
Mhm.
And I am Louisa, who is a younger girl, sort of around our age, who's just thinking about all the things in life that she wants to do before she gets too old.
So I'm not gonna harp on you, and I'm not gonna make this a big thing, but you're not the first person who's done this today too. You're just the person I'm catching. You said she's sort of around our age. I think we want to be really specific and intentional. How old is she?
I kind of think of her as 16.
Not kind of. I think of her as 16.
I think of her as 16.
We get used to using qualifiers and colloquial language, and the more you can say, she's 16. I'm 16, right? I know you're not 16, but I'm 16. I'm Louisa. I'm singing about the things that I'm doing. If you're specific and intentional with that, you've created a very vivid picture for yourself, right? So you're the lucky person that gets to hear this today, because you're not the first person who's used the term kind of or sort of or like today, right? I just am pointing it out because I used to get harped on about this all of the time. People would say, oh, it's sort of that way. I'm like, oh, no, it's this way. I'm this person doing this thing. And when it's specific in our mind, we can create a very specific, real picture, right? So all of that to say, I'm excited to hear you as 16-year-old Louisa.
I like to swim in a clear blue stream where the water is icy calm, and go to town in a gaudy gown and have my fortune told. Just once before I go. I'd like to be what he wants, what's all the world provides. To be the kind of girl designed to be kissed on the eyes. I'd like to dance still to the clock, or sometimes dance till dawn. Or if the band could stand it, just go on and on and on. Just
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. It's great to hear you, Grace. Lovely, lovely singing. I think you've taken some of the notes today and what we talked about last week, right? Your shoulders are back and down, which looks really great. And it looks like you have a good stance underneath you. Let's talk a little bit about, right, so I'm an opera singer and I'm a musical theater singer and I work primarily singing stuff. And so I am very concerned with music, right? What does the music tell us about the sections in this piece?
So the first section is sort of wistful because it's slow and like legato, and then it gets to the jazzy part in the middle where it's like having fun and being daring and like having the actual courage to go out and do those things. And then it goes back to like more of a dreamy sort of imagining all the things you'd like to do.
Excellent, great. So you have very clear sections in your mind of what's going on, right? We have this legato, fluid, whimsical section, and then, like you said, there's a dance music section, and then we have, we go back to the sort of whimsical, I don't want to do chores, I just want my hair to flow behind me, right? So I'm gonna make you do a dance improv for me. This is going to be I'm sorry to do this to you, but this is going to be an interpretive dance version without any lyrics or singing. Bryn's going to play the piano for us, like a lovely dance class, and you're just going to improvise physically, right? So it doesn't have to be like perfect dancing. It can be hand movements or swaying. But an interpretive dance that encapsulates physically what's happening in the music, okay? There's no right or wrong. This is creative play. You don't have to stay in one spot. You can move around a little bit, okay? Whenever you're ready. Good. I'm going to stop you. Grace, this is great. That's great, right? Oh gosh, Sarah and her crazy ideas, right? I want you to do it again, and you're on the right track. I think there's probably a part of your brain that's like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Yeah? You're doing it right. I'm telling you, you're doing it right. Now I need you to do it right on a much huger scale so that you feel it to the tips of your toes and the top of your head, okay? Good. I'm going to stop you right there for a second. Good, good, good. Now, I want you to get your lower half of your body involved. The top side of your body is doing great. Now, I want the lower half of your body to be involved too. You have hips and knees and ankles and feet, right? They're all there? Let's use them, okay? We're going to pick up right where we left off. And mind you, we're getting into the dance section. Most people don't dance without their hips, okay? Get those hips going. There you go. Oh, there's some freedom. Good, good, Grace. I'm going to stop you there. You feel a little bit silly, right? Your brain is like, what are you doing to me? You're making me very vulnerable. But like I talked about in the beginning with all of the other people, right? We are putting ourselves in a vulnerable place, and we gotta commit to that, right? And so the reason I want you to do that is I want you to find some of this physical freedom when you're singing, so you don't get boxed in. You had a lot of fun in this dance section. Maybe your brain was like, I don't know if this is fun, but the character read as like, oh, I'm having fun now that I'm dancing, right? So now I'm gonna have you go back and I want you to sing it while you incorporate your interpretive dance, okay? And in this case, bigger is better.
I'd like to swim in a clear blue stream where waters icy.
Good, I'm gonna stop you right there. Grace, how do you swim? Good, let's swim in a clear blue stream together.
I'd like to swim in a clear blue stream where the waters icy calm, and go to town in a golden crown and have my fortune told. Just once,
Yeah, get that whole body going. Keep going.
just once before I go, I'd like to be not evil once, and so
Good, good, good. Can I stop you there? I'd like to be not evil, but a little worldly wise, right? Can we not apologize for that? I'd like to be not evil, just a little worldly wise, right? I'm not asking for much. I just want this one little thing. I want to be worldly wise. To be the kind of girl designed to be kissed upon the eyes. Right? This is very fantastic. And she's living in a dream world right now, so I need the dream world to be big. And you can let that, I know you're probably feeling a little bit anxious or a little bit self-conscious with it, but first of all, your voice demands that your body follow. Otherwise, it's just a beautiful sound. And I know that there's a lot more there than just a beautiful sound. So I'm pushing you to be physically involved because I think the talent that you have demands it, right? So let's go from, I like to be not evil, but.
Wait, how does it go? Okay.
Evil, but. Let's dance.
I'd like to dance till 2
Get those
o'clock.
hips going.
Sometimes dance till dawn.
Good, good, good. I'm gonna stop with you. Stop. Whoop. Sorry. No, good, good, good. So you started to go there and then you're like, I'm gonna censor myself right now because I don't want to dance too much, right? I want you to just go for it. I'm gonna dance like a goofy person because Sarah told me to. Okay? Right there.
I'd like to dance till 2 o'clock, or sometimes dance till dawn.
Keep those hips going.
If the band could stand it, just go on and on and on. Just once, before the chance is gone.
Good. So I don't want you to get in the habit of just going like this.
Yeah.
Right? After you dance, I'm going to have you do starfish. So we're going to go back to I'd like to dance till 2 o'clock, and I want you to dance because I was like, there is a person coming to life. And when you get to just once, I want the arms to come out to starfish, okay?
Okay.
I'd like to dance till 2 o'clock, or sometimes dance till dawn.
Get those keeps going.
If the back could stand it, just go on and on and on.
Starfish.
Once, just once.
Keep those toes down.
Chances gone. I'd like to waste a week or two and never do much more to where I am. Fastened song, it must be
Good. Excellent, Grace. How's that feel?
Good.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm so exposed. Everything in my animal instinct says do not make myself vulnerable this way, right? Getting your body engaged makes the whole thing come to life, right? And it doesn't mean that like you need a lot more gesture, right? You saw when I worked with Jack that I was like, let's take away the gesture. Gesture isn't always the answer. But for me and for you in this piece, what it was missing was your connection to your full body, right? Like when I dance, it feels like this. When I swim, it feels like this. When my hair falls down, like it feels like this, right? Because when we have those physical feelings, right? Like, you know, when you get warm and cozy in your bed at night and you're like, ah, and you know exactly how that feels, it translates to how you are physically representing that, right? So if you have the experience of swimming, when you're singing with this beautifully fluid swimming music and you put that into your body, then we read it in your physicality as well as your voice and the music. Make sense? So it's getting all three together. How's that feel for you?
Good. Yeah.
Good. Excellent, Grace. Thank you so much. We have to wrap up. See if we can get to our other people maybe. Aaron, what are your thoughts? Do we have time?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, Sebastian.
Get all of you. Sorry, I'm nervous.
Hi, Sebastian. What are you singing for us?
Memory from Cats.
Excellent.
And the summary of this song is Grisabella is remembering her old life as an angelical cat.
Mm-hmm. You can do it. Keep going. You got it. It's okay. It's okay. You're doing great. great. Good. Thanks, Sebastian. Sebastian, are you in? Yeah, shake it all out there. Shake that out. Are you in the choirs at school?
Yes.
Which choir are you in?
Singers,
Okay. So, what part do you sing in singers?
tenor, two.
Tenor. We're going to have some fun doing all the same things that I've had other people do today. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to try singing this again. And the only thing I want you to focus on is dropping your jaw. Memory, not a sound from the pit. I don't remember what the words are, right? I want you to find the space up and down, okay? Good. All right. Does that feel different to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound.
Was I opening my mouth?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you come a little bit closer to the mic and then?
Was I opening my mouth? Only?
Yes. Yeah. Did you see me like encouraging you to? Yeah. So mirror neurons. If you're watching me do it, you're gonna be more inclined to have that physical reaction too. So next thing I want you to think about, Sebastian, is I want us to focus on the direction of the line. Can you speak the text, the first line of text for me?
Sure. Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone.
Good, 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 right? Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She's smiling alone, right? So I want you to find some musical direction to this phrase, right? So that it doesn't just sound like midnight, stop. Not a sound from the pavement, stop. Has the moon lost her memory? I want you to find some through line in that musical line, okay? So jaw, drop that jaw, and then find the musical line, okay? Good, good. Much better, much better. Feel different?
Yeah.
Excellent. So next thing we're going to layer on, right? So now you have beautiful open jaw. You have the direction of the musical line. The next thing that I need you to do is I need you to take intentional breaths.
Okay.
So right now your breath is kind of like out of necessity. It looks like this. Right? I want your breath to look like this. Right? You see it move because my hands are moving, right? But my intentional breath is much lower than, right? What's moving is actually my rib cage and my abdomen, right? So I want you to think about intentionally taking breath that you need rather than survival breath, right? So can you sing that, sing it from the beginning, and when you need to take a breath, give yourself the time that you need to in order to take the breath, right? Keep going. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. Sebastian, that's great. How's that feel? Yeah, definitely. You're giving yourself, your body permission to take up the space. Oh, look, here we go again. Take up the space that you need physically with your breath in order to sustain the phrase musically, right? So let's jump to the burn da 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 bum bum bum, that section, okay? Good. I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Right, yeah, I probably wasn't.
No. It's good. I'm gonna ask you a question. Can you direct your lovely pianist with the direction you want the music to move? She's being very accommodating to you. And I want you to, with your singing, move the phrase along a little bit more, okay? Seems to be the Good. I'm gonna stop you. So you see what I mean? Like, it's your job. If you want to move, you got to move it a little bit more, right? And I think for me in this section, we can move this section a little bit more. Every street lamp seems to beat the fatalistic warning, right? Because we're getting to a climax in a minute, and we don't want to, incapacitate ourselves before we get there, right? So I think we can move this a little bit more. And you can do that by vibrating your sound a little bit more quickly, by bringing your consonants a little bit more quickly. And then your lovely pianist will know, oh, he wants to move a little bit more, rather than just sit back and brace himself for what's coming, right? Try right there.
Every street lamp seems to be a fatalistic warning.
Good. How's that feel?
I like it, yeah.
So
Just sometimes I'm not sure like when to really do that.
when you're supposed to do that? Well, here's a good indicator. We tend to, as singers, we're like, this big part is coming up, so I'm really scared right now, right? And we tend to slow ourselves down, but that does counterintuitive work for us. If we use the energy to keep moving forward, we don't dig ourselves into a ditch with tempo, right? So that if you go bum bum bum, when you get to da 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 da, and soon it will be morning, right? When you get to that part, if you're going so slow at the beginning of this section, you'll get to and soon it will be morning, right? You'll be dying, right? So if you take this and you look at the piece and you say, okay, this is the part where I need to slow down because of the climax of the piece, and you go a little bit ahead of it and you say, okay, this is the part where my inclination will be to slow down too early. Here is where I probably need to keep my mind moving forward, keep my mind and my voice and my breath moving forward, so that the climax actually sounds like a climax and not like we get to a halt. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's looking at the piece. And in this piece, the climax, and soon it will be morning, right? Where we take a little bit of retard, where the piece is ascending vocally, melodically, right? And we go a little bit in front of that. And if we sing that too slowly, the retard that we have to take at the climax will be even more deathly slow and hard to sing, right? So that's a good way to look at your pieces. And then, when I'm singing sometimes and I get really stuck, I realize if I'm not having enough breath and I'm not able to complete the phrase, it's my job to communicate that to the pianist to help me move forward, right? So if I get stuck and I'm like, every street lamp, and I'm like, I'm not going to make it, right? I have to then communicate using my consonants and my voice to move forward and say, every street lamp seems to beat a fatalistic warning. So if my consonants are coming faster, my pianist will say, oh, she wants to move here, right? So there's little tips and tricks we pick up along the way that help us as singers be good communicators for our collaborators who are playing piano, right? And that way they can support us. Make sense? And that responsibility, unfortunately, falls to us a lot of the time to take the reins and say, oh yeah, I need to move a little bit here. And that's something that you just learn as you get more comfortable singing as a soloist and singing with a pianist playing with you, right? You learn how to create that collaborative dynamic and how to communicate through your musical and vocal choices with that pianist in the moment, rather than being like, okay, now we go faster, right? Which you never did, and I'm not saying you were doing, but you learn through things like this how to communicate those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Really good, Sebastian. We're going to move on to Brady really quickly. Oh, Brady's tall.
Go back. Go back as far as there we go.
Hi, Brady. How are you?
I'm good. So, today I'm going to be singing Evermore from Beauty and the Beast. And in this song, the Beast is just like willingly let Belle go from his castle. And this is his song, kind of singing about his heartbreak and realization that he kind of just let go of his one last chance at love.
Excellent. Thank you.
I was the one who had it all. I was the master of my fate. I never needed anybody in my life. I learned the truth too late. I'll never shake away the pain. I close my eyes, but she's still there. I let her steal into my melancholy heart. It's more than I can bear. I know she'll never leave me, even as she runs away. She will still torment me, haunt me, hurt me, move me, come what may. Wasting my only power, waiting by an open door. I'll fool myself, she'll walk right in and be with me forevermore.
Thank you. Brady, you're in singers, right?
Yes.
Are you baritone?
Bass too, yeah.
So I want to hear those lovely, low, rich tones. The same thing I did with Jack, Kai, Sebastian, dropping your jaw a little bit more. Let's get in the habit of that early on in the song so that later on, I know she'll never leave me, when you get to that line, we're already familiar with that space, okay? So let's start from the beginning and just do a couple lines with that idea of the jaw opening.
Okay. I was the one who had it all.
Right? I'm sorry, like that's just a different sound, yeah?
Yeah.
Why would you sell us short? I want to ask all of you people in this masterclass, why would you sell us short of your sound? Right? Like everyone that I've said, just drop your jaw, just open up your mouth and sing, like such a beautiful sound, right? everybody that I've said to drop your jaw makes the sound come to life. Yeah. So one more time, and this time, this song is hard because, right, it's like ba da 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 dum. Wait. Ba da 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 dum. Wait. Right? So I want to see if we can find some through line of thought, right? Here's where we start to integrate. So you have this beautiful drop jaw that you're going to use, and I want you to be thinking about what you're actually saying. It's not just that you're singing, right? You're thinking these things for the first time as this character. So I need to see the thought process happening. Okay? I was the one who had it all right there at the beginning.
I was the one who had it all. I was the master of my fate.
Good. Sorry, I'm going to stop you, Brady. Sorry, Brady. I'm going to stop you for a second. Was this character very, what is the beast?
He's very reserved. He keeps everything to himself. He pushes everyone away. And now that he's kind of just in, melancholy. There's that lyric in the song. That's how I can best describe it.
Right. He's a bit, he's arrogant though, too. Yes. That's how he got into this position.
Yeah.
That's how he became a beast, right? He turned the inner ugliness outside. Yes. So I want to see a little bit of bitter irony in this arrogance. Yeah. I was the one who had it all. I had everything. Right. So that when we switch to the vulnerable side, we have contrast, right? So we can use that space to make those transitions and have those contrasts. But I want you to play up every aspect. So that it's not just, I was the one who had it all. I hope she never leaves me. Right? Let's build in some dynamic life. Okay?
I was the one who had it all. I was the master of my fate. I never needed anybody in my life.
Right. I never needed anybody in my life. Let me hear you. Can you speak that text as the beast would speak that text?
I never needed anybody in my life.
I never needed anyone in my life. I never needed anyone in my life. We're going to play a game. I want you to say this text 5 different times right in a row in different ways. Okay?
Yep.
Whenever you're ready.
I never needed anybody in my life. I never needed anybody in my life. I never needed anybody in my life.
Starfish. One more time. I never needed anybody in my life.
I never needed anybody in my life.
Okay. Now I'm starting to convince you. Convince me even more.
I never needed anybody in my life.
Yeah. Now you're a monster. So say it like a monster would say it.
I never needed anybody in my life.
Okay. Now I believe you. Now sing it that way.
With starfish?
You can drop the starfish. But don't lose the intention you just built.
I never needed anybody in my life. I learned the truth too late.
Good. I never needed anybody in my life. I learned the truth too late. Are you happy that you learned the truth too late? No. So I need to see how angry you are about learning the truth too late. Okay? Right now, it's a bit polite. Have you listened to the Dan Stevens recording of this? Okay. He's not a singer. He's not a musical theater singer, right?
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have the resonance and the warmth that you have in your sound. And I want you to capitalize on that a bit more, right? Okay. I want you to use your full arsenal. Don't sell us short. Okay, let's go. I never needed anybody in my life, and I learned the truth too late. Right?
I never needed anybody in my life. I learned the truth too late.
Good. Sorry, I'm going to have you do starfish and do it again. Too late. Can you sustain that last note when you get there?
I never needed anybody in my life.
stop for a second. Brady, it's much better, especially when you're using your whole vocal arsenal, right? I want you to stare at the computer screen so that I can see you really, or like stare where straight in front of you so that you're like looking at yourself in the mirror and you're judging yourself. You didn't need anyone. You were so arrogant, and look at where you are now.
Okay.
Look at where you are now.
From the top.
Can you punish yourself in this way with your physical intention and your vocal intention? Great, from the top.
I was the one who had it all.
Good. Punish.
I was the master of my fate.
Good. Judgment.
I never needed anybody in my life. I
Judge.
too late.
Condemn.
I'll never shake away the pain.
Good. Blame.
Close my eyes, but she's still there.
Good. Punish.
I let her steal into my melancholy heart. It's more than I can bear. Now I know she'll never leave.
Good. I'm gonna stop you there. Now I'll know she'll never leave me. What's that pitch? Do you know what the pitch is?
And not off the top of my head.
Corinne, can you tell me what the actual note name is?
On never,
Yeah, is it an E?
it's a D flat.
Okay. No, she'll never leave me. So when I was working with Kai, we talked about building in the energy, or no, this was Kayla, building the energy at the bottom of the phrase. Can you build in the energy on, now I'll know she'll never leave me? So you have a little bit more, this is the trampoline exercise, right? Sing into the low notes so the high notes can release. Rather than reaching up for the high notes, let's dip our knees on, now I'll know she'll never leave me. Try that right there.
Now I know she'll never leave me.
Good. What are the vowels? What are the vowels on those words?
No, e.
Good. Oh, yeah, e. Just sing it on the vowels for right now. It's hard. It's really hard. Yeah. E. Give me a real E. She'll. Yeah. So both on E. She'll never leave me. Right? Give me real E's on both of those. I think that will help you. Okay. You can put the consonants back in.
Okay. Now I know she'll never leave me.
Yeah, so I'm even watching you as you're doing this, right? And you're going, now I'll know she'll never leave me. When you sing that top note, I want you to squat. Now I know she'll never leave me.
Okay.
Like actually squat with your knees, okay?
Okay. Now I know she'll never leave me, even as she runs away.
Right? It's not even as she runs away. Drop your jaw, squat your knees. Okay? Same thing.
Now I know she'll never leave me, even as she runs away. She will still torment me, haunt me, hurt me, move me, come what may.
Come what may. Can you sing through that? Come what may. Sing to May.
Come what may.
There you go. Now do it in context one more time, just from come what may and go on.
Okay. Come what may.
Oh, except you did it. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you one more time. You went, come what may, when I asked you to do it, and then when you put it back in context, you went, come what may. Keep that jaw dropped and sing through the phrase to may. Okay?
Come what may, feasting in my lonely tower.
Yeah.
Waiting by an open door. I'll fool myself, she'll walk right in
Drop that jaw.
and be with me forevermore.
Yeah, come on. Right? That's what we want. We want to hear that evermore at the end. Really well done, Brady. What do you feel about that when you squat your knees?
Feels kind of weird, but I can definitely hear the difference.
Yeah. So the thing that it's doing there is it's taking the support from here and putting it where it needs to be, down here, right? All of those muscles, abs and below, actually, your trapezius muscles start here at the back and they move all the way down your rib cage. Your back muscles, the trapezius, your lats, and all of your abdominal muscles, your hips, your pelvis, your legs, all of those are support. And what you do when you squat down is you say, I'm using these muscles to provide my support instead of reaching from here to sing the high notes, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I don't want that to be confused and be like, Sarah told me that I support with my legs. My breath support is in my legs. That's not accurate. Your breathing occurs here. But the structural support of your body, your spine holds everything up, right? And then we have things that hang off the spine, right? That help support us upright, correct? And the muscles, the big muscles in our body, our legs, our abs, our back, those are the muscles that should be doing the work of support rather than the neck and the shoulders. These are not support muscles. These are teeny little muscles that get tired quickly, right? So when we learn to put our support where it needs to be, we have more freedom up here. Make sense?
Yes, totally.
Promise me you will never sing the beginning of that song without that fullness that you found today.
No.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Brady. This has been fun. I love doing this. I could do this all day.
Well, thank you so much. Oh, we're gonna have a little echo, sorry, but thanks for staying extra to get through all of our people. You guys did awesome.
Yeah, it was so
Thanks
fun.
so much, Sarah. This was a treat.
I really could do this all day long. So I hope
Well, don't
someday
worry, we'll bring you back again.
in the future, I'll come back to Henrietta. I'll drive down Lehigh Station Road and I'll come sit in the singer's room and we can work in person.
All right, thank you so much. Have
My
a great rest of your
pleasure.
day.
Yep, bye-bye.